Hey guys, Fhraelaok here again with the fourth aspect of being a raid leader. Do I know what loot goes to what class? Hopefully you already have an idea, but I will go down through a very detailed list to exactly what type of gear would go to exactly what class. So please stick with me if you're unsure or have a couple of questions. I'm sure it'll be answered through this list. Of course, priority should always go to the class of armor that uses it first, such as plate should go to plate wearers, mail to mail, leather to leather, and cloth to clothies first. Alrighty. Also, before I forget, guns and bows with agility should go to a hunter who could use them before they go to another class that could use it only for the stats, as they actually have to use it for the weapon. Same with the two-handed, should go to a warrior or death knight or peli first before it goes to a hunter who will only use it for stats. Alright, now let's go down through this list. Alright, starting at the top, we'll go with armor. Plate armor. Plate armor that has defense rating on it. If it does not have block rating, it's great for a Death Knight tank. If it does have block rating, a Death Knight wouldn't want it. They don't use a shield, so it would either go to a peli tank or a warrior tank. If it has critical strike or high strength, it's a DPS type of plate item, it would go to either a Death Knight DPS, a peli DPS, or a warrior DPS. If it has spell power and intellect on it, it would go to a peli healer. Alright, dropping down, we got mail gear. If it has agility on it, it is a piece of gear for a hunter or an enhancement shaman. If it has spell power on it, without MP5 or hit rating, it would be good for an elemental shaman or a resto shaman. If it does have MP5 on it, it should go to the resto shaman. If it has hit rating on it, it should go to the elemental shaman. Dropping down to leather. If it has agility on it, it's great for a rogue, great for a feral druid. If it has spell power on it, without MP5 or hit rating, it would go to a boomkin or a resto druid. With MP5, to the resto druid. With hit rating, to the boomkin. Alright, popping down here to cloth. If it has spell power, which, hello, all cloth does, without MP5 or hit rating, it would be good for a warlock, mage, shadow priest, or holy or disc priest. If it has MP5 on it, it should go to the holy or disc priest. If it has hit rating on it, it should go to the warlock, mage, or shadow priest first. Alright, we'll go to the offhand. Now, they all have spell power on it for offhand, guys. So, if it does not have MP5 or hit rating, it's good for a warlock, mage, shadow priest, holy or disc priest, resto druid, or a boomkin. If it has MP5 on it, it should only go to a holy or disc priest or resto druid first. If it has hit rating, it should go to a warlock, mage, shadow priest, or boomkin first. Dropping down to a shield. If it has defense rating on it, it should go to a warrior tank or peli tank. No other tank uses it but those. If it has spell power on it, should without MP5 or hit rating, should go to a peli healer, elemental shaman, or resto shaman. If it has MP5, should go to peli healer or resto shaman first. With hit rating, should go to an elemental shaman first. Alright, we're finally on to weapons. This can be debated. Like I said, two-handed weapons should go to the people who are going to use them first before just their stats. Same with any gear. Alright, we'll start off with two-handed swords, maces, and axes. Axes. Sounds funny, doesn't it? Alright, if it has strength on it, should go to a warrior DPS, peli DPS, death knight DPS, or a death knight tank first, as death knights do use two-handeds to tank. If it has agility on it, should go to a warrior DPS, peli DPS, death knight DPS, death knight tank, hunter, or feral druid. Dropping down to staves. If it has agility on it, should go to a feral druid or hunter first. If it has spell power on it, without MP5 or hit rating, should go to a warlock, mage, shadow priest, holy or disc priest, boomkin, or resto druid first. With MP5, to a holy disc priest or resto druid. With hit rating, to a warlock, mage, shadow priest, or boomkin. Dropping down to one-handed daggers. if it has agility on it, should really only go to a hunter or a rogue. With spell power on it without MP5 or hit rating, should go to a warlock, mage, shadow priest, holy disc priest, boomkin, or resto druid. With MP5 should go to a holy or disc priest or a resto druid. With hit rating should go to a warlock, mage, shadow priest, or boomkin. One-handed swords with defense on them should go to a Death Knight tank, Peli tank, or warrior tank. With agility should go to a hunter or rogue first, Death Knight DPS if they use one-handeds, or an enhancement shaman. With spell power on them without MP5 or hit rating should go to a mage or Peli healer. With MP5 should go to the Peli healer. With hit rating should go to the mage. Dropping down now to one-handed maces. If they have defense on them, should go to a Death Knight tank, warrior tank, or Peli tank. If it has agility on it, should go to a rogue or an enhancement shaman. With spell power on it without MP5 or hit rating, should go to a Peli healer, holy disc priest, shadow priest, boomkin, resto druid, resto shaman, or elemental shaman. With MP5, should specifically first go to Peli healer, holy disc priest, resto druid, or resto shaman. With hit rating, should go to a shadow priest, boomkin, or elemental shaman. One-handed axes. With defense, should go to a Death Knight tank, warrior tank, or Peli tank first. With agility, should go to an enhancement shaman or a hunter. Dropping down here to bows and guns. Like I said, should probably go to a hunter before they go to anybody else just for the stats. Thrown weapons are specifically for rogues and warriors though. If it has defense on it, should go to a warrior tank. Now this is the one exception. If the bow or gun has defense on it, it should go to a tank before it goes to anybody else. If it has strength on it, should go to a warrior DPS. Hunters and rogues do not use strength, but a warrior does. With agility on it, it should go to a hunter first, or a rogue or warrior DPS who could use the stats. Finally, last but not least, relics to go into that slot for the corresponding classes should go to this corresponding class or spec. If it has to do with healing, it should go to the healer of that class. If it has to do with tanking, it should go to the tank of that class. If it has to do with DPS, it should go to the DPS of that class. Given these do not drop very often in very many places, but it still does matter. Now, that goes through the entire list, and I do have this saved in a file. If you are interested in it for your own records, please let me know, and I'll be sure to get it sent out to you. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, check us out at dragonsofabyss.wowstead.com or our community site at dragonsofabyss.com. Stay tuned and subscribe with the big yellow button there on YouTube to see the next aspect of being a raid leader coming out soon.